Hey, my friends. This is Barb Brimhall, the BZB Stamper. I'm primarily known for making quick and easy cards, except during Step It Up stamping. This is where we take one of my super simple cards and keep adding to it until it's a little bit more over the top, if you will. And I love to do that because it all depends on how much time you have to craft, right? Sometimes we just want a card in a hurry, and sometimes we want to take more time and maybe make something a little bit more, I'm going to use air quotes, Pinterest worthy, because I think this is Pinterest worthy too. Now, I apologize. I've got a little bit of a glare. Today is super sunny out, and I've done everything I can to try to get rid of the glare and shadows, but I'm stuck. So bear with me. Now, I am so excited because today, by the way, is National Pet Day. Happy National Pet Day. I am a grandma to a puppy. He's actually 150-pound Great Dane Black Lab mix. So he's not so much of a puppy. He's a pretty big boy. And I'm a grandmama to a kitty named Reed, who is fabulous. He's got definitely has his own personality. So this card is in honor of National Pet Day and my little puppies and kitties. And it is called Hugs and Healing. When I saw this set in the catalog, I was like, I got to get this set. It's only a stamp set. There are no dies that come with it, but I'm going to show you the dies that I paired with it. Let me hold it up a little bit since it is so bright on the cardstock. We're starting with soft seafoam, which is a very light green. And then we're using some of the Timeless Plaid designer paper, which is actually available now. This stamp set, Hugs and Healing, won't be available until May 6th. So you got a few more days to wait. And then what I did is I just stamped the focal image, the dog and the cat, in black Memento ink. And then I colored it in with the soft seafoam blends. That's for the kitty, or excuse me, that's for the blanket. And then I stamped the kitty in with the ivory and bronze blends. So I used the ivory on the kitty and the dog's little snout, if you will. And then I colored him in, the doggy, in bronze. So those two colors actually come together in the same blends, but they coordinate and work really well together. And then I just stamped the sentiment on another piece of very vanilla cardstock. I'm not sure I said that. Soft seafoam, Timeless Plaid designer paper on very vanilla cardstock, which is part of the reason why I'm reflecting the sun so much. Isn't that cute? Okay, so that is our beginner, under 5 minutes. Anybody can make this card. And then we are going to take it up a notch. And this is our worker bee card. I'm going to hold this up too because I love this card so much. Really, the only thing different I did is rather than use one piece of designer paper, I cut 4 strips of designer paper, same designer paper, Timeless Plaid. And I've got all the measurements for you in the instructions, so you don't have to worry about that. But I colored it almost the same. The only difference is for the kitty this time, I brought in Cajun Craze blends. And that just made it a little bit darker. And then I matted it on Cajun Craze cardstock. I definitely pulled all these colors straight from the Timeless Plaid designer paper. Made it super easy for me to do. I love how this blanket looks when you color it in with the soft seafoam blends. It's just so much fun. And then from the Baker's Twine Essentials pack, I used crumb cake baker's twine. And I just wrapped it around and tied it into a knot. Now, there's 2 ways you could do this. In the instructions, how I tell you to do this is you just wrap it around one of the 1-inch by, I think they're 5, but don't quote me on that. One of the 1-inch strips of designer paper, I just wrapped it around that and tied it in a bow and then just added the other 3 strips of designer paper. But if you're like me, sometimes I get straight line impaired. Okay, a lot of times I get straight line impaired. So I just cut a piece of very vanilla and then I glued this down and then I just wrapped this all around the very vanilla. And it was just a lot easier for me because I have trouble doing things straight. So whatever you want to do works well. But the end result is such a cute card because that plaid is just, it just is perfect for this card. All right. You guys ready? Here we go. This is the Queen Bee card. Oh my gosh, I love this card so much. Okay. So it looks pretty cool like that, but look, my friends, it is a special fold card. And this card stands up. Can't you see somebody having this on their mantle or their desk at work? Somebody maybe who's had surgery or hasn't been feeling well. I want to show you how this works. I'm going to open it up. It's just 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it at 4.25, and I believe I scored it at 2-inch. But you just fold it. See, I never remember what I folded. So it looks like this, and then it lays flat, so you can put it in the mail. But then you can also stand it up like this. I'm trying to give you a good view so you can see how that works. Very simple, guys. It is super simple. But the main thing to remember is you want to make sure that you only glue the bottom part of this cardstock on the bottom flap of the card. Okay. So I want to show you more. So I'm going to fold this up again. Then I cut the Cajun Craze cardstock out of one of the Textured Notes dies. Now this is an online exclusive die, and you can see the edging around that. Can you see that? It's so pretty. And then this part's a little bit more complicated. I just cut out a whole bunch of 1-inch squares out of the designer paper, out of the scraps I had. And then I glued them all down on some vanilla cardstock and ran it through the cut and emboss machine using one of the Textured Notes dies. And then also right here, this is cut out with the Textured Note dies, colored in the same way as the other color, or the other cards, sorry. And I want to point out these right here. These are the brand new neutral matte dots. Isn't that cool? It is so cool. And then on the inside, the sentiment that's holding up the front of the card, this is also done with the Textured Notes dies. And those are on dimensionals. Ooh, let me see if I can get a better picture. And that's what kind of catches the front of your card. There is a name for this card, and I'll be darned, or for this fun fold. I've been trying to think of it for the last minute, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's a very easy fun fold that anybody can do, honestly. And if you don't have the Textured Note dies, that's not a problem. I just liked it because it added that little bit of wow to all of the pieces of cardstock and paper, but you could just do plain squares. You would not have to do the Textured Notes, but I really do think it takes it up a notch, don't you? And since this is a Queen Bee card, we definitely wanted to take it up a notch. So there you have it, my friends. Let me bring them all out again. We have the under 5 minutes, easily under 5 minutes, Busy Bee card. Then we stepped it up a little bit more by changing how we did the designer paper, added a little bit more color to the kitty, and which is actually almost the color that Reed is. And then I just matted the very vanilla onto the Cajun Craze. You could see the difference that makes just by adding that mat of cardstock. And then over here, this was a way over the top card. We just made a fun fold. And I think when you're sending get well cards, and there are other sentiments in the stamp set, but it's primarily hope you're feeling better, thinking of you, that kind of thing. And of course, you could combine it with any sentiment set. It could be a happy birthday, missing you. You could do a lot with this set. But I think what really just adds that extra oomph to this card, as much as I love the fun fold, and I do, I also think that using those Textured Notes dies really made a difference. So that's just my opinion. But again, you do not have to use them. This would be an adorable card. Everything would work the same. You just wouldn't cut out the squares. I guess I should say rectangles because they're not really squares. And the other thing I did is with the crumb cake baker's twine, I wrapped it around twice. I don't know if you could see the difference that makes wrapping it once and then wrapping it twice. It just adds a little bit more depth, especially with the bow. So that's something to keep in mind. If you really just want to take your card up a notch by doing one thing, double wrap your baker's twine and tie it into a bow, and that will make all the difference. And of course, I should say that what really made this card easy to do was using the Stampin' Blends. They just make your coloring life so much easier. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this Step It Up Stamping. Happy National Pets Day again. If you know anybody who has pets, they are sure to love this card because it features both dogs and cats, which is really nice, especially if you are a grandma to two different types of pets. So there you go, my friends. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments and which one you'd be most likely to make. Because on my Facebook page on Mondays, I do a drawing and someone is going to walk away with their favorite card. Okay? I'll be back next week. The new catalog will be live, which I can't wait for. And I'll be back with another Step It Up Stamping, which I know you're going to love. I'm not going to give you any hints, but trust me, you are going to love it. Okay, friends, talk to you later. Bye.